Are we waiting for someone else?
Uh,
Yes.
okay, Philip, like you can start now because it's already 4 p.m. over here.
No, for me, not a problem. We can give a couple of minutes of gratitude,
Yeah.
let's say.
Yeah, the agents are joining. You can start. That's not an issue. You can start.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Then just 1 second. I'll share the screen. Okay. Can you please confirm that you can see full screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Because on Zoom sometimes I'm having technical issues. I don't know why, but it's giving me problems sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna go changing slides. If by any chance there is some problem or you're not visualizing it correctly, please let me know.
Sure.
Okay. So first of all, thanks all for joining. Thank you all for coming. Pleasure to be here with you. I don't know, as my colleagues mentioned, my name is Filip. I represent EAE for, let's say, for European and Latin market as well. EAE belongs to Grupo Planeta, which is basically, I'm not gonna go and do the full introduction of what Grupo Planeta is because that's totally different, and it's a long story. Basically, Grupo Planeta was founded in 58 here in Barcelona. It was as editorial, let's say, publishing books in Spanish language. Soon after, they become one of the largest companies in Spanish language all around the world. So up to this day, this is still the main part of our business, let's say. The second business is everything that is related with entertainment. We have different TV channels here in Spain, radios, newspapers, etc. And we have a movie and series production company that produces well a lot of famous Netflix shows, for example, a lot of famous movies as well, etc., etc. So this will be the second part, and the third part it's the educational system where we are currently. In this case, we have not just EAE, we have a lot of different schools. I'm not gonna go into each of these. I'm just gonna talk about EAE. So as you can see, we have schools in Spain, in France, in Italy, Colombia, Morocco, Egypt, USA, and Andorra. EAE is founded in Barcelona in 1958 and is one of the oldest business schools that we have here in Spain, actually. Um, Currently is divided into two campuses. We have campus here in Barcelona and one campus in Madrid. It's basically the same school. Nevertheless, they have a slightly different programs in each campus. The price range is more or less quite similar. It can be a little bit of a slight difference, let's say, between one another, but it's quite similar. So EAE, it's a business school, so they have programs. They cover the areas that everything is related with the business. It can be MBA, business management, marketing, communication and sales, human resources, innovation and data, finance, project management, etc., etc. We have a different modalities, different learning modalities, which will be a full-time format, flexible part-time format, and hybrid or global. In this case, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll be mostly interested in the full-time format. This is basically where the students, of course, they arrive here at campus and they study here in campus. The part-time is created for, let's say, for active professionals, which allows them to balance between work and study. They have only a couple of classes per week, only 2 days. Normally, let's say it's on Tuesday and on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Nevertheless, this is mostly focused only for Spanish citizens that already live and work here in Spain. So this is something that I'm not sure it's going to be quite interesting for you. And then we have the hybrid learning, which is 100% online. And then you have, after finishing the program, you have a 2 week residential period, which is something, as we mentioned, I think it's not going to be quite of interest. So being that said, we have two different campuses. We're going to go to talk a little bit first about the campuses. First campus that we have, it's going to be here in Barcelona, which is, as I mentioned, is one of the oldest. It's located right in the center of Barcelona, which is called the Eixample district. We have the central campus. Then in front of our main campus, we have another building which they have a couple of classes as well. And then 10 minutes walking, we have a different third campus, which is mainly focused on the bachelor programs. So basically, all the three campuses are located in 5-10 minutes walk from each other. It's quite easy to get around. The public transport is working perfectly here. We have the metro, the bus, bicycle, electric bicycles, whatever it's the student's preference. We have everything that is for daily life, let's say, here just a couple of minutes of walking. One of the main attractions in Barcelona would be Plaza España, let's say, with the magical fountain that we have here as well, which is around 10 minutes walk. And then on the other side, we have the main shopping area in Barcelona, which will be near Plaza Catalunya and Paseo de Gracia. It's approximately around 15 to 20 minutes walking distance from the campus. So the campus is in a residential area, which they have everything nearby, so it's for the normal life, they will be perfectly adapted over there. This is regarding the campus. EAE, I'd like to ask you a little bit regarding the rankings. It's something that is quite important for your students. They are quite let's say picky about that. They want always schools that they have a better position in rankings, or it's not so important for them. This is a question, guys. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
I'm asking. I've asked a question. Is the rankings really important for your students, or it's not so relevant?
No, they
It
are.
is. It is.
It is.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this case, as you can see, well, EA Barcelona, they have one of the best rankings from our schools that we have currently. For example, Master in Supply Chain Management is ranked number one. In Project Management is ranked number two. In Spain, of course. In Finance is ranked number three. Executive MBA is ranked number four, etc., etc. Nevertheless, on the website or on our website, you can see directly the rankings as well. If you have any doubts, so you can have the full list of all the rankings. And after that, we have something that is called a professional impact unit, which is basically a team of professionals that they are dedicated, let's say, to the development of all of our students. So from day one, they arrive to our school. They have a designated person, advisor, let's say, which is special. They can be, let's say, specialized into two different areas of action, either preparing a little bit of more corporate profiles or entrepreneurial profile, depending of the student. If they are more interested in starting their own startup, for example, starting their own company, or if they are more mainly focused on getting a job in some other company. So this is something that is quite relevant for the student, because helps them a lot to better position themselves in the market, and to explore a little bit about their needs, for example. um, I don't know if you have any questions, or should I continue with the
Y-
programs
Yeah, you can continue. We can have the question answer session at the end of this
at the
webinar.
end?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, we have the programs. As I mentioned, we have the different types. We have the full time, the part time, and the hybrid. My imagine is that you're going to be interested in full English programs. So therefore, I've divided, let's say, the
Yes,
the
only English
programs
start
into the.
programs.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's why I've divided them into English or Spanish. As you can see, we have around 2, 4, 6, 8, around 9 English programs from which you can choose. And on the side, there's a short description if the degree that the student gets, if it's an official title or a known title from the school. As you can see, almost all of the let's say half of the English programs are official, and the other half is not official. Nevertheless, I'm not sure if this is something quite relevant as well for your students, or in this case, it doesn't matter as well.
They need.
Programs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need like. I mean, they want to know if it's an official or the own program.
So they prefer the official one.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, in this case, we have a couple of options that can be of interest. As you can see, the average program cost is around 17,000 euros, and this is average, and before the discounts, of course, for every single program we have discounts that can be, well, depending on the student academic profile. And then for the MBAs, the average cost is around 28,000 euros, more or less. So you can have that in mind. From the full-time programs, we have the part-time. as you can see, as I mentioned, well, this is not something that is interested, and they're all in Spanish, so we're gonna skip ahead. The hybrid is gonna be the same. They're completely in Spanish and 100% online. Nevertheless, if you have some student that can be interested in Spanish and he speaks the language perfect, it still remains an option as well. On other side, we have the campus Madrid, the current academic partner of I failed to mention that, sorry. The current academic partner of Barcelona is University of Lleida. We've switched this year. We switched the partners from University of Catalunya to University of Lleida because in the end we had let's say a slight blocking from the university. We couldn't provide with many official degrees. That's why we switched this year to University of Lleida, so that we can provide our students with more official degrees, let's say. In the case of Campus Madrid, the academic partner is UNIE. Madrid, as you're familiar, is the capital of Spain, so it's a bigger city. It's almost double in citizens and almost in size as well. That's why we have two large campuses here. We have Príncipe de Vergara building and then Joaquín Costa building. Both of the buildings are equipped with the optimal facilities. They have around between both of the buildings, we have around 9,000 square meters, which is quite large. Joaquín Costa, it's you're gonna see here on the picture, but it's the public transport. It's amazing because you have the Petro entrance just in front of the building. So for the student, it's perfect. And the other one, the Príncipe de Vergara, it's the park, the metro. It's a little bit not so close, let's say. But they have, for example, they have their own car park. If the students they have their own cars. They are located in the center of Madrid, in really nice and peaceful neighborhoods, which, as I mentioned, in the end, the public transport is quite perfect for the students, and it's quite cheap as well. The rankings for Madrid is well, you can see here. I didn't want to introduce all the rankings that we have. We just introduce some, so you can have a look. Nevertheless, on our webpage, you can find the full ranking list. Here's some from Forbes, for example, from the MBAs into top 10 in 2021. Global Executive MBA is number 7, and Executive MBA is number 6.
Right.
From EAE Madrid, we have something that is a little bit different than EAE Barcelona. They have what is called True Potential Experience. Basically, it works more or less the same from day one. They enroll to EAE Madrid. They have this team of individuals, let's say, tutors, which is every single student has an assigned one. And the tutor, basically what they're responsible for is for providing them, let's say, a guidance from day one on how to improve their CV, how to improve their LinkedIn, how to better position themselves in the working market. After that, they do like a different types of exams so that they can find a little bit what is their current, let's say, weaknesses, what are the strengths, so they can work on that as well. They prepare the students on how to do the interviews, etc., etc. So basically, what they're doing is they prepare the students to discover their true potential and to build their own, let's say, professional career. So depending on if they prefer on working in some companies, employee, or as an entrepreneur. So basically, it's quite similar, but in the end, let's say that Madrid is a little bit more personal than EAE Barcelona. Regarding the programs, EAE Madrid, they have a little, let's say, different offer. But in the end, the English programs are quite similar. That the only difference is they have the Master in International Tourism Management, for example, and international business as well in English. As I mentioned, it's the officiality of the programs are on the slide, so you can see there are a couple of them that they are official, a couple of them are not.
Right.
The price cost is, as I mentioned, they are quite similar. In this case, the master's program are a little bit cheaper, let's say, from 17,000 we go to 16,600 euros. And then for the MBA is around, well, it's around 28,000 euros as well. And with Madrid, we probably can get some little better economical offers, let's say, for the students regarding Barcelona. On the full-time programs, then we have the same. We have the part-time programs. I'm gonna skip ahead to hybrid learning. And in the end, what we have is the bachelor programs. In this case, for either school, we have only one English program, which is business administration and management. In this case, the English program is around 11,500 euros for both of the campuses. So you can have in mind that EA Barcelona, they have, let's say, a longer trajectory than EA Madrid. So in the bachelor program, you will find more or less that there is around between 30 to 40 students in EAE Barcelona. Whether to Madrid, there is between 25 to 30 more or less. So the class is a little bit smaller, which gives, let's say, to the students a little bit more personalized treatment, let's say. Whether Barcelona is, let's say, they have a longer tradition, they have their own standards, etc., etc. So it's a little bit a different type of proposal to the students. Also, it's quite important though to say that here I'm currently in Barcelona, so I'm gonna go a little bit for Barcelona, of course. Here we have the beach. In Madrid, they don't have beach, so it's quite quite important. And the last thing is gonna be about employability. This is a report that we have from only for the October intake of EAE Barcelona. From, as I mentioned, from the True Talent. In this case, for the October intake, there were around 900 students that that were inscribed on to this program. From these students, almost 700 students were advised. From this, 91% was incorporated into a company. And from these 600 students, a little more than half, they got an internship program, and little less than half, they got a permanent job. So it's quite interesting and important for the students, because in the end, when they're looking for this experience, that they want to study abroad and they want to look for not just studies, but they want to look for job possibilities. It's quite important for them to mention that one of the most important things when you're choosing a school is the connections that the school provides to the students with the companies, and the possibilities that the school gives, let's say, presents to the students to find a job, and as soon as possible, of course, because in the end, normally when you arrive in a different city without any incomes, you're gonna be spending, well, either your savings or from your family. The moment you start working here, it's quite easier for the student as well. For example, on the other side, you can see we have EAE Talent 2024. This was the talent event, let's say, that was organized by the campus in Madrid. For 8 years in a row, the business school in Madrid has organized, which is probably the Spain's biggest employability fair. There were more than 1,200 students that assisted, and more than 120 companies as well. What they provide to the students is not just the possibility to assist on this affair and have a look. They provide the options to do interviews. They have one-on-one talks with the companies directly from human resources, which basically presents them the opportunity to get a job at the moment. And on this talent show as well, talent fair, sorry, they've incorporated this year many other events. For example, it was one of the main things was AI, robotics, electric vehicles, etc., etc. So they had a lot of different things to do, not just let's say the one-on-one talks. I invite you to have a look on this because it's quite interesting. And one of the most important thing in the end, it will be the key selling points for the school. Sorry. In the end, it's the same school, so it's EAE, even if the campuses are divided. So basically, the key selling points are going to be more or less similar. As I mentioned, it's a school with the longest history in Spain. It's the only school in Spain that offers a career services for all of our students. And afterwards, we have something that can be quite relevant for you guys. Have in mind that Barcelona, I'm gonna go with it's our technological city in Spain. What does it mean? Here we have a full neighborhood which is dedicated to all technology companies that are in Spain. They are located here. So more than 70% of all the technological startups in Spain are created here in Barcelona. So every single program that is related with technology, the students gonna have much more possibilities to get a job here in Barcelona than in Madrid. On the other side, Madrid is the financial capital of Spain. So every, let's say, major financial company, the headquarters is located in Madrid. So everything that is related with finance is going to be much more attractive to go to Madrid than Barcelona. Nevertheless, Madrid and Barcelona are the biggest cities in Spain, and let's say the capitals. And they, of course, they're going to have an amazing opportunities in each of them. But this is something to have in mind, that technology is going to be better in Barcelona and finance is going to be better in Madrid. On other side, and both of the cities are extremely well ranked as of sports cities. Madrid is ranked number 6 in the world, and Barcelona is ranked number 7 in the world. Which in the end, I mean, it's quite it's normal because in the end here the sport is quite active and attractive. And one other thing that I like to add, it's Madrid. It's quite being a bigger city. It's quite multicultural city. For example, they have much more nationalities in the cities. Not just I mean, let's say the gastronomy. It's quite different, and etc. etc. So it's they have their own things that can be quite attractive for the students. So without further ado, that's gonna be the presentation on my behalf, guys. I'm gonna stop sharing right now. So if you have any questions, please feel free.
I have one question. Like Philip, like, is the school providing campus placement opportunities? Like, are the companies coming to the campus itself and providing the opportunities for placement to the students?
Normally, both of the campuses they organize at least one major event, which is for employment, which is like this, as I mentioned. And after that, they have almost every single month they have invited guests, CEOs from other companies, etc., etc. They organize visits to the other companies as well. So they have every single month they have some movements depending a little bit. They can be either visits to the school or the students can be visiting over there. In the end, think that the school is providing the students with everything that is needed so that they can find a job but in the end, you have to have in mind that finding the job and applying for the job, doing the interview and everything has to proceed from the student. If the student is lazy, let's say, if he's not doing anything at all, of course they're not gonna just like place him and go ahead and work. They're gonna provide him with the tools, with the necessary tools to find a job, to better position himself, etc., etc. But in the end, it's the student itself that has to find the job. You're silence.
I mean, like the school is providing the necessary support to the student, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. From day one.
Yeah, good.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw one message in the chat as well about the cost from the. I imagine this is for the bachelor. It's per year. This is per year, of course. The 10,500 is per year.
Or like if the student is selected, okay, by the university and student receive the acceptance letter, like is the letter mentioning like what is the initial deposit that the student need to pay?
When we offer the acceptance letter, we of course when we do, let's say, the interview with the student, of course we provide with all the necessary information if the student has any additional question or doubt about the program, etc., etc. And on this let's say meeting, we expose them with the financial offer, with the final financial offer. So I'm going to go an example. I'm going to give you an example. If the total cost of the program is 10,000 euros, we always provide them with a chance of, we always provide two options, either full payment or paying in two fees, in two installments. So for example, if the student decides to pay the full amount of the program, he's given in both of the cases we give 1 week of deadline. So but in your case, if I'm not mistaken, we have to confirm that with my superiors. Could be 1 month as well. We provide with this financial offer, and it's detailedly explained that okay, so you have a deadline until this day. This is the amount that you have to proceed with the payment, and this is the pending amount that you have to continue with the payment before the program starts, etc., etc. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, everything is
Right.
everything is written.
Okay. And like if the student is paying the fees altogether, okay, for the entire course, like for 1 year, is there any additional discount offered?
Yeah, we offer an additional 8% discount if it's paid in one installment, and additional 5% if it's paid in two installments.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
That would be apart from the scholarship.
Of course. Regarding the student papers, this is something quite standard that we ask for to all of our students. Is Disha is your contact? Probably you will have to send her like the updated CV of the student, the last diploma, motivational letter, recommendation letter is an optional. It's always a plus, but it's not something that we must send. Copy of passport, and if I'm not mistaken, that will be all. And afterward, we're gonna ask for an official certificate of English level B2. We don't accept Duolingo. It has to be IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, etc., etc. Duolingo is not accepted. We get that question a lot, so this is something that's not accepted. Okay, guys, any other questions?
If anyone is having any questions, they can unmute themselves and ask the questions or write in the chat box.
I know I have done a wonderful presentation, but yet.
Yes, of course, Philip.
Oh, I mean that we've more or less covered a little bit of everything. We have the campuses, the location, size of the schools. More or less to have in mind, the size of the school is EA Barcelona. They have around 2,000 students, more or less, in overall. And EA Madrid, they have around 2,200, more or less.
Okay.
So they're quite similar, let's say, into size. we have the location, we have the size of the school, we have the cost, we have the requirements to enroll, the deadlines. Of course, you have to have in mind because, for example, for the October intake, you're gonna have to have in mind the deadline because of the visas to make sure that you have enough time to apply for the visa, etc. So don't wait until last minute because it can have some difficulties. Regarding nationalities, have in mind that EAE is one of the most international schools, that therefore we have quite of English offer, for example. So we have a lot of mix from South America, from Europe, from Asia. We have, if I'm not mistaken, there is over 100 nationalities in both of the schools. So it's quite interesting and attractive for the student as well. And we have the afterwards, for example, for the student employment, placement, etc. And if I'm okay, we have a question. Do we need to show funds? If yes, how much and how old? If I'm not mistaken, this is something that has to be with the visa. For us, for the school,
Yes.
it's not necessary. So I don't know, Disha, I think that you have a little bit more experience in this.
Yeah, right. Yes, we have to show the show money of 10,000 euros. I mean, 8 to 10,000 euros. So that should be a minimum of 3 months. That's 90 days.
90 days old, right?
Correct.
And I think this is one of the other important questions that nobody asked so far. The stay back.
Yes.
Ah, regarding the stay back, normally in Spain, first of all, in Spain there was a slight modification in this past year. The permitted working hours for the student was changed from 20 to 30 hours, so which is quite interesting for the students as well, because in the end they get a little bit more income. Regarding the stay back, if I'm not mistaken, it's between 6 months and 1 year that they get after the finish of the programs. Regarding the visa for the spouse, or for example, as well, they can get a visa for as well for like a visitor, let's say, because in the end they cannot work here. They're allowed only to stay, so they are not allowed to work. To have that in mind as well.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, with that we have almost more or less almost everything covered.
Yeah, almost everything is covered.
Okay, guys. Well, if you don't have any further questions,
Just a minute. Like
yeah,
one of my colleague is having a question. Look, she will just ask you.
mhm,
Yes, Amita, you can write the question. She is writing in the
of
chat
course,
box.
no problem. As I mentioned, the spouse get visa. There are some certain requirements that has to be fulfilled, but this is it's normal. They get the same visa, but as I said, they are not allowed to work. The mission can be possible or not with
Like, are
people.
there any language barriers for the student in order to find a part-time job or to communicate with the
Well,
people
think,
over there?
think for example, both Madrid and Barcelona are international cities. It can be, of course, they're going to be looking for a Spanish, for Spanish-speaking persons, but in the end, you have so many companies that they're from outside of Spain, and you can find a job that basically what the requirements are to speak English. So if they speak perfect English, they won't have any problems finding a job.
Okay. And like, what would be the approximate cost of living for the student per month over there in Spain?
Well, this is kind of tricky because in the end, I'm gonna go, for example, in Barcelona, which I'm a little bit more familiar than Madrid, let's say, with the cost of life. And the cost of life in Barcelona, you have first regarding the apartment issue. The main issue with the apartments here is they're a little bit expensive here in Madrid as well. So normally what the students do is either when they arrive here, probably normally what they do is get an apartment, let's say, well, get a room in for the first 2 months into how do you say it? Into a student residence, and after the first, let's say, 1 or 2 months after they meet the fellow students, etc. Normally they organize between themselves, and I don't know, I'm friends with you, and they rent an apartment together. So that's, let's say, the standard procedure. And meanwhile, if not, there is a lot of different uh, let's say apps that can allow the students to find a shared apartment. They can rent only a room. Normally, a standard room in a decent in a nice neighborhood can go between 400 and 500 euros per month.
Okay.
If you prefer for something a little bit cheaper, of course, you can find for 250, 300 euros, you can find, but this can be in a little bit of tricky areas, not so recommended, let's say. No problems, but still they're not so, let's say. And the public transportation is, let's say that the ticket for the metro can cost you around 40 euros per month, 40 to
Okay.
50 euros per month, which allows them unlimited movement by metro or bus. And after that, the cost of food can go depending on, of course, what they eat, but we can go between 200 300 per month, more or less. So let's say with around 800 euros per month, they can live nice. Okay.
Okay. And is there any support provided by the Spanish government to the international students?
Financial.
It can be any kind of support, like transportation or pass or something like that, student pass, or like to
The
travel
student, yeah,
within
of
the
course.
city.
On the student pass, yes, they have the just like tickets of like cards. Yeah, this they have, and regarding, yeah, they have like additional discounts on the public transport, and they have also there is a lot of different activities that are quite cheaper for students. Entertainment, movies, things like that. They can get between 20-30% more or less additional discount on that as well.
Oh, fine.
So yeah, for the students, it's a little bit more.
Okay, got it.
Uh, Actually, for accommodation in Barcelona, we have a tie-up with Agora.com.
Okay,
So you can book the I mean accommodation. It could be a shared room or a single room, and it varies between 600 to 1,200 euros,
okay.
depending on what kind of accommodation you're preferring to take.
Right, right.
The and they're so flexible that the student can just mention that he'll be there for a month from so and
Mm-hmm.
so date,
Mm-hmm.
and if his visa gets delayed or something, he has to just write to Agora and tell them that he'll be coming a little late, and they'll
Right.
adjust. So that is how it works. And if at all, in the worst condition, if a student gets a visa rejection, there'll be 100% refund from them.
Great.
Yeah,
Good.
and we also have a stay back, as I mentioned earlier with
Mm-hmm.
you, Deepa.
Hmm.
It's 1 year initially, like once a
Yes,
student
yeah.
finishes this program, it's 1 year, and after that, they can
4 years.
directly apply for 4 years. So it will
Yeah,
be total of 5 years
yeah,
stay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. So that's it from my side. I don't have any further questions, and I even don't think that any other agents are having any questions. So if they are having, we will surely connect with you, Disha, or maybe Philip.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I request you to please share this presentation if possible, so
No
that we
problem,
can
man.
share with all the agents.
I've
So
already
Phil,
shared with Disha before, so no problem.
okay, fine. Thanks, Philip, for your time. Thank you so much for the
It was a
session.
pleasure meeting you guys. Wish
Same
you a nice
here.
day. Ciao,
Same.
ciao.
Same to you. Have a
Take
good
care.
day.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Disha.
Bye, Deepa. Bye.